Hey, thanks for joining us today. We all want to quickly get to the bottom of things and really grasp what's important.
Absolutely.
So today we're diving into something pretty fascinating, this shift in the world of cryptocurrency. It seems like it's moving beyond just the speculation we heard so much about in the early days, aiming for real-world impact, really trying to tackle some big issues.
It's really interesting to see it evolve from just digital currency to something with a bigger purpose.
Let's get into that because our sources today are pointing to a pretty significant transformation underway.
Yeah, definitely a lot to unpack there.
Okay, so we all remember the early days of crypto, right? It was all about price volatility and will Bitcoin reach $1 million?
Yeah, the speculative frenzy was huge.
But it seems like the bigger picture is that blockchain's original experiment in digital finance is reaching for something much broader now.
I think that's a great way to put it.
So what's a good example of this? What's happening on the ground that shows this shift?
A key player in this whole shift that we're seeing is ixo, and they're really focusing on grounding crypto's promises in verifiable real-world results.
Okay, so not just digital assets, but actual outcomes we can see and measure.
Exactly. I think that's the key distinction here, moving from the abstract to the tangible.
Yeah, that makes sense. One of the sources had a really compelling example about how they're addressing carbon emissions,
Oh, yeah, I saw that too. It's about Amina in Zambia and how she relies on charcoal for cooking.
which of course has some serious consequences for both her health and the environment.
And this is where ixo comes in. They're enabling Amina to distribute clean cook stoves.
So it's not just about offering a cleaner option. Each stove actually generates what they call carbon cash.
Which are basically verifiable digital carbon assets. Pretty innovative, right?
So these blockchain-backed assets then fund even more clean cook stoves.
Precisely. It creates this really interesting self-sustaining cycle for positive change.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
But what are some of the challenges here? How do we know it's actually working?
Yeah, that's a critical question, and the sources touch on that too. Robust and transparent verification is key, and that's where ixo's use of blockchain aims to provide that.
So ensuring that real-time emission reductions are actually translated into tradable carbon tokens.
Yeah, and that attracts global investors because there's clear accountability built into the system.
It seems like a real change in how carbon markets could operate.
For sure. It's a potential game changer.
The sources also talk about youth unemployment, which is a huge issue, particularly in Africa, and how ICSO is involved there too.
Yeah, through a platform they co-developed called Yoma Impacts.
Okay, and what does Yoma Impacts do?
It basically takes young people's potential and turns it into verifiable skills and digital credentials.
Like what kind of skills?
Think environmental stewardship, renewable energy training, that sort of thing.
So each completed task becomes like a traceable achievement on the blockchain,
Exactly. It's about recognizing and rewarding those skills tangibly.
creating real employment pathways, because the blockchain provides that secure and verifiable record.
Exactly. It connects skilled youth with opportunities and offers tangible rewards for their work.
Really interesting. And then there's this digital immune system concept, which honestly sounds pretty sci-fi.
It does sound futuristic, right?
Yeah.
But the vision is to use blockchain technology in combination with pathogen genomics.
Pathogen genomics.
Yeah, which is basically the mapping of disease DNA.
Oh, okay.
So imagine this, an outbreak happens and it instantly triggers automated health bonds.
So real-time health data automatically activating funding to where it's needed most.
That's the idea. It could dramatically speed up response times.
It's amazing to think about what technology can do. So we've got carbon reduction, youth empowerment, global health. What's the common thread here? What ties all these examples together?
It all boils down to verifiable impact, data asset tokenization, and decentralized finance. ixo's blockchain takes proof of real-world outcomes and turns them into digital tokens.
Okay.
And then it connects those tokens to global capital markets, creating what they call regenerative finance.
So beyond just profit, it's actually driving positive change. And what about these impact oracles the sources mention?
Think of them like independent digital auditors on the blockchain.
Okay.
They automatically verify that the claimed real-world outcomes are accurate before any impact tokens are validated.
So these tokens then fund further actions, creating a kind of positive feedback loop and potentially scaling change faster.
Exactly. Each token represents verifiable progress. Fewer emissions, more skilled youth, healthier communities.
It's almost like a whole new language of progress.
It is. It's a fundamental shift in the narrative around crypto.
So here's where it gets really interesting, right? This whole move from crypto's early speculative phase to something much more substantial.
Absolutely. The focus is shifting to what some are calling a productive crypto economy, where digital assets directly empower efforts to address major global challenges.
It's about connecting capital to measurable positive outcomes.
And doing it in a way that's transparent and accountable.
The key takeaway for me is this significant evolution that we're seeing in the crypto space.
Agreed. It's not just about digital money anymore. It's about using blockchain for tangible, measurable, real-world impact.
Digital assets could be really powerful drivers of meaningful change by directly linking financial resources to verifiable outcomes.
It's a much more regenerative system, and that's what's so exciting.
It really makes you wonder if blockchain can do this, what other sectors could be transformed by connecting capital to measurable progress. It suggests a whole new way to tackle global challenges.
I think we're just scratching the surface of what's possible.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us today on this deep dive into the changing world of crypto.
It's been a pleasure.
We'll see you next time.
See you later.